Right. All right, bringing back to some domestic news, the FBI is calling an attack on a synagogue in Michigan, quote, a targeted act of violence against the Jewish community. Authorities say Ayman Mohammed Ghazali drove a truck through the doors of Temple Israel in West Bloomfield yesterday afternoon. Law enforcement sources told CBS News synagogue security killed the suspect after he exited the vehicle. But Oakland County Sheriff says he was found dead in the car. Fortunately, no one else was killed.
This is a deeply disturbing and tragic incident, and our deepest sympathies are with the victims, their family, and the entire Jewish community.
CBS News correspondent Ash-har Quraishi, who is there on the ground covering this story. Ash-har, you're getting new information. What can you tell us?
Good morning, Adriana. What we've learned is that federal investigators were searching overnight the suspect in this case, the alleged suspect's home, what's believed to be his home, combing through there, trying to gather evidence that would indicate what may have led up to this attack yesterday. We're also hearing from community members who knew this suspect and were shocked by what they're hearing, saying that he may have been driven by a potential motive that we're hearing, although officials are not saying this. We are hearing that a number of relatives of his were killed in an airstrike, an Israeli airstrike in Lebanon earlier this month. The mayor of Dearborn Heights said that he had also heard that and had posted on Facebook that a number of those relatives were killed. And there was a remembrance for those family members a couple of days ago as well. And that may have been part of what had driven him to this. But again, right now, federal officials, authorities are still trying to gather exactly what may have been the exact motivation for the attack. And right now, they have not made that public.
And so, Ash-har, you're shedding light onto a key detail in this case, though. You know, we're covering this in the context of the increase in anti-Semitic attacks across the country. It really strikes a sensitive nerve everywhere, not just in Michigan. But you've been speaking with people in certain neighborhoods connected to the suspect. What more are you learning about that potential link as far as the Israeli strike in Lebanon that may have killed some of his family members, and who this man may have been mentally before all of this?
Right. A number of community members that I've spoken to say that he was somebody that they were familiar with. He worked in a very popular restaurant in the Dearborn Heights area. Now, Dearborn Heights is just about 25 miles southeast of the temple where we are, just outside of. And they say that he was well known in the community. People described him as kind. But they say that in the last few days after this strike, things had changed. He had been distraught. One community member I spoke to who was very close to this man said that he was not the same person and he was struggling. He did live alone in this residence as far as we understand, but it shows that what they're saying to me is that what's going on overseas is clearly affecting people here in this community. And it raises questions about the tension here and how much people are talking to each other about what's going on and trying to understand that before they turn to violence.
Ash-har, tell us a bit more about Dearborn and Dearborn Heights. I mean, it's one of the largest Arab communities in the United States, and that's not far, as you pointed out, from one of the largest Jewish congregations in the United States. What is the mood in Dearborn and Dearborn Heights? And also, as it relates to this suspect, I saw reporting that it may have been his siblings and their children who were killed in this strike. Do you know anything about that?
Yes, Adriana, so people I've spoken to say that in that strike, they believe that his two brothers were killed, a niece, a nephew, and that and his sister-in-law was injured and is in the hospital at this point. But they also are shocked. They say that they didn't see this coming, although there were concerns about him. He had stopped working in the last few days, and I'm told that he was keeping to himself. People are still trying to wrap their heads around this. Folks that I've spoken to in the community say they still can't believe that this is what he did, and they're trying to come to terms with that. But again, this is, as you mentioned, the largest Arab American community in the United States. It's a community that has found itself under suspicion even as far back as right after 9/11. I've worked in this area for a long time. I actually shot a documentary in the Dearborn area, so I have a lot of contacts here. But there has also been condemnation from leaders here about this attack. They say that this violence of this kind is no answer to anything that is happening anywhere outside of the United States or even here.
And Ash-har, one thing that jumped out at me during the press conference we watched last hour, we saw Governor Gretchen Whitmer speak, and Senator Alyssa Slotkin, who is Jewish and has not just raised money for Jewish organizations, but she's participated, Senator Slotkin, in events for Jewish and Muslim Americans to bridge the divide, to encourage more domestic unity despite international tensions. I'm just wondering if you can give us a hint as to memorial services planned or anything else planned by the community hoping to bridge these frayed nerves.
Yeah, right now what we're hearing from leaders here at the temple is that they're standing strong. They want to continue providing the services to the community here. They want to continue engaging. There's a bar mitzvah that's planned, and that is not being canceled.
Wow.
They are also holding services temporarily here across the street at the Shenandoah Country Club. Their message is very clear. They are not shaken. They are going to stand strong, and they're going to continue serving their community and engaging with anyone in the area, whether that means through interfaith initiatives or what have you. But again, this is a community that is trying to grapple with what has happened here. And again, it's going to take some time. But right now, what we're hearing from leadership is that they want to stand strong.
All right, Ash-har Quraishi, we appreciate your extensive experience and reporting there in that part of the country and joining us with updates today. Thank you very much. And there's another attack we're looking into. The FBI now investigating yesterday's deadly shooting at Old Dominion University in Virginia as an act of terrorism. Former Virginia National Guardsman